let's jump right in and talk about the fundamentals of Litecoin. And one thing that, even gives a basis of potential for Litecoin to one day reach a high price is something called limited supply. So in the case of Litecoin, there is a max supply of only 84 million coins. Now, for some context, that's a max supply of 21 million coins for Bitcoin. So that just means, in 5-10 years, someone can't come along, a central figure and just create 20 million more coins. And that's extremely important because if that were to happen, that would really affect the value of the coins in circulation, the coins that you own. The value would go down drastically. Next, an extremely important but overlooked point is security and usage. Now, the majority of investors and the market don't really look at these things right now. And in my opinion, it's simply because they're now just beginning to even comprehend or look into, what a blockchain is, which is fine. I mean, it's part of the learning process, but there's an incredible amount of relevance to these things when you think about the value of Litecoin, security and usage. And for context to that, I want to look at some tweets by Chalire Lee because I think they're important. So first, earlier in the month, he underlined and pretty much concisely explained how network security is measured in terms of cost and electricity in protecting the network. And he highlighted how quickly Litecoin has caught up to Bitcoin in terms of this security. Now, second to that, on the same day, he pointed out usage and usage rates of Litecoin and the growth that it's had there. And if you look at it, it really is impressive. Equally important is, what he said in the tweet in regards to price, which is, let's not let price distract us from what's actually important. This is what I mean by conflict of interest. No Litecoin, no distraction. So he's completely right. Adoption, usage, security. These are the things that are going to be foundational to Litecoin and its future and the price. So focus on these things and the price will follow. Nobody knows when, but time is going to tell. So, his tweet here explains perfectly that relation of price. People need to use Litecoin and price is going to follow. And I want to add to, Chalire Lee he's often hated on, especially on Twitter, just for his form of, public communication. And I think a ton of people just want him to pump up the price of Litecoin and hype up Litecoin news so the price goes up. And, they're pleading for him to get a, marketing team behind them, and Litecoin needs it so bad. And I don't think they could be any more wrong. And the ironic thing about that is if you look at Chalire Lee, he went from working for Coinbase, right? And playing a huge role in the adoption of cryptocurrency, this adoption of cryptocurrency because of his time spent at Coinbase. That's a pretty large role to play. After that, he pretty quickly created the second most known cryptocurrency behind Bitcoin. Bitcoin, which this new form of currency that was created anonymously, which would essentially really transform the landscape of the world that we live in terms of the decentralization of currency. He created the second most well-known coin behind that. And he did it quickly. So people saying that, he sold his Litecoins, they really just need to take a second, look back at history. He's had an unconditional amount of commitment to Litecoin from the start. And who really cares if he sold his Litecoin? You can look at his tweets from 2014 explaining, the same love that he still has today for Litecoin, and really just asking the community what they can do for Litecoin as opposed to the other way around. And, what can Litecoin do for the price and the community? He's still tweeting the same exact things. And from a marketing perspective, I think he's inherently talented at marketing. And I don't even think people catch on to it. I don't think they realize it. He's constantly controlling the narrative and the direction of the Litecoin vision and the Litecoin brand. And it's important to add to that you can't do that without just getting people angry. There's always going to be people that disagree with you and your vision. So any fear associated with him selling his coins, I think is, I would just ignore it. And price. So I know you're here watching this video because price. I guess the general consensus is, and I agree, is that Litecoin eventually will in fact one day settle at like 25% of the value of Bitcoin. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. I think it's something that will happen once prices really stabilize and the market really stabilizes. So while quarter of Bitcoin price I think can happen one day, I guess the more important question is, how is it going to happen? How are we going to even get there? And that's simply by adoption, which we're talking about, and stability. So in the meantime, could Bitcoin go to 50,000 and Litecoin run up to 2,000 and be 4% of a Bitcoin? 100%, absolutely, it could happen. But can Bitcoin enter a bear market and go down to 5,000 and Litecoin go down to 100? Again, absolutely, it could happen. But being the status of the market right now and the awesome things that are in store in 2018, I don't think it's going to happen. So the moral of the story is this: invest if you will, but more importantly, get involved in the community of cryptocurrency. Get involved in the space and get involved in the adoption of its future, because your investment, if you do invest, will be way better because of it. So those are just my thoughts in a nutshell. Thank you so much for coming by and watching the video. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below, and I will see you on the next video. God bless.